Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the April 2021 West Colfax Community Association monthly meeting. I'm delighted you can all join us via Zoom. We have a great agenda today, so I look forward to leading us through that. And we're going to try to be done by 9 as usual. So we're going to start with our normal program where we go through our local jurisdictions, and we'll start with our state and county elected officials. And I see Commissioner Kerr is here, so maybe I'll turn to him first on the agenda. Andy, you are on mute if you would like to say a few words.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
There you go.
My computer, I just got kicked out a second ago. I didn't know you called. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Good morning, everyone. Made it through another April 20th. So here in Jefferson County, that's always a good thing. And just to give you a little, I'm sure most of you have heard as far as with COVID-19 and the dial and what's going on there, that the governor has largely lifted a lot of the statewide mandates. The indoor mask order is still in place, but the dial has been largely lifted. Jefferson County, our public health department, in conjunction with 6 other public health departments, has come up with their own dial, which for right now, for about the next month, means that Jefferson County is moved to level blue, what was mostly level blue on the dial previously. And the metric that will be used to determine if we go back into yellow, red, orange, all of that will be hospitalizations, which are unfortunately not where we would hope at this point. We are firmly in a 4th wave, but the way that the demographics, I guess you would say, are going is that people who are getting sick and hospitalized are younger and tend to be less severe than in previous waves. Vaccinations are going great for the most part. We still have, we're getting to the point where basically everyone who is eligible, or anyone who can get a vaccine is now eligible to get that vaccine, 16 and up, and we're over 90% of our 70 plus population, which as you all know has been the population that we've been most concerned about with hospitalizations. I'm happy to try and answer other questions on this, but for the next month we should be blue on the dial, and then after that we are going to a level clear, which is clearing most of the things that have been put in place, but we're still, our public health folks are still very much asking people to social distance, wear masks inside where you can't be at least 6 feet from other people, and yeah, that's where we are. So thanks for letting me put in my 2 cents.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Appreciate that. Are there any other Jeffco folks here today, or state officials that would like to chime in?
So this is Tracy Kraft-Tharp, and I'm the Jeffco commissioner, and I just want to say hi. I think Andy did a good job at the presentation, but I'm really looking forward to your presentations this morning. I think you have a very exciting agenda. So thanks. Good morning.
Thank you, Tracy. With that, we will move to the Lakewood City Council. And before we move to Mayor Paul, we'll see if anyone from council would like to chime in. Hearing nothing, I guess that turns the floor over to you, Mayor Paul.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Ron. Thank you for having us this morning. Always a great group on West Colfax. And I am also excited, you know, in the world of economic development, you see all these different layers, and to have Jansen with us and to kind of hear more about what Jefferson County EDC is doing and their mission will be, I think, quite informative. And now more than ever, these partnerships are so important between our business improvement districts, our chambers, our economic development teams at the city and the county, you know, as we look towards recovery and whatever that looks like. Talked a little bit in the past, American Rescue Plan dollars, the city's number is still around 22.6 million. So we'll be having a lot of conversations with the community and council as to what that looks like and where those dollars go. The county is also, I think, gonna take on that as they have a big chunk also coming through. So does the state of Colorado. And I do want to give a shout out to Representatives Tipper and Kennedy, who've reached out to the folks at the local level and trying to see how we can utilize potentially some of those state dollars to help with our homeless plans in our community, and how can the state be a partner to the locals as we navigate through these challenging issues related to homelessness in our community. So I'm excited to hear about that. Westland, as I promised, and certainly something that's of great interest and consternation, is the continuation of conversations with those folks who do own that piece of property. And we have had some phone tag conversations, but my goal is to, again, get them with Bill and the key folks who run these neighborhoods. And also making sure when those dollars come in for the sale price of $1 million, how do we make sure those dollars stay right where they came from, and that's in that area to reinvest. So stay tuned for that. Early May, we're going to have some conversations related to a slash facility and updates on 8th and Quail, which is a quite popular free recycling facility, which is so popular that some mayors from other communities use our free facility for their recycling. But the good news is trying to get that slash facility, and that's going to be a partnership with the county and the other cities. And I think we have a location, and that's something we've gone without for a long time. Heard a lot about the federal center. They are at auction. I think their number is 15 million. Now, I don't know what their plan is if they don't get that, or if they, you know, bids start coming in at the last minute. I think it's been pretty quiet. I think there's a lot of as it relates to development in Lakewood. And I've talked to some folks here and throughout the nation who have had some interest. Keep in mind those rights on there are vested, which means that what's in place does allow for them to build for a 25-year period. They're somewhere, I think, in the 10-year range on that. So moving forward, you'll probably hear more about that. As we continue to reopen, you're going to see city functions. You're going to see a lot of fun things. Just also keep in mind with the dials changing or going away, it's really still upon us to be as careful as we can and take that responsibility seriously, get vaccinated, all those good things. We still struggle with equity as far as vaccinations and how do we really get to the most impacted folks in the community. Had a nice talk with Dr. Comstock yesterday from Jefferson County Public Health. As you can imagine, one of our areas that we struggle with is the Sheridan corridor. Shout out to Sandy Weathers. She helped put together a big vaccination clinic at Alameda and Sheridan. And so, you know, we need to continue to look for those kinds of opportunities. I'm doing coffee or cocktails with the mayor. I'm trying to keep them to 20 to 25. And so tomorrow night I'll have my second one, and we're going to mix them up. Some of you have been to the traditional morning one. These will be all virtual. So we did a morning one. Tomorrow night will be an evening one, and I'll try to do a Saturday. But taking advantage of this platform to really get back out in the community and hear from you is going to be super important. So keep a lookout for that on our different media sources. Sign up. If I can't get you in to the present one, I can certainly put you on the list. And then I want to leave you certainly with something that's on all of our minds, and it's something that we're proud of in Lakewood. That's our police department. Certainly not an easy time for anybody in law enforcement. And I think we saw justice served yesterday, and I just want to share how proud I am as we navigate challenging policing issues. You know, certainly we're not a perfect organization. Any people organization is not going to be perfect, but I can tell you that we strive to really be introspective at our policies and our procedures, and always trying to be, you know, cutting edge in our approach to public safety. Case in point, the law enforcement assisted diversion program to help folks struggling with alcohol and drug addictions, that's coming into place. You've heard about our homeless navigators and our mental health professionals, but our community action team, and I'm just going to leave you with this because I was on another community meeting. I mean, the community action team really deals a lot with getting to know our homeless population and trying to figure out where they're at and where we can help them in their life and get them to a much more stable situation. So you can imagine it goes from taking people to the DMV to get a driver's license, and tomorrow they're taking an individual who's almost blind to have cataract surgery. And, you know, that's just part of that thing. If we can help that person who's struggling on the streets get some of that vision back, it's that step. And I'm just proud of them. And obviously it's a long play and nothing happens fast, but they have been successful now, I think, in finding permanent housing for at least 12 individuals. And so we'll continue to keep moving forward with that. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I do not see any. So thank you all. I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations today.
Thank you, Mayor Paul, and thank you for making yourself available as you are through your coffee and cocktails format. Thank you. And we'll move on to the Lakewood Economic Development. And I see that Vanessa is with us this morning. I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I'll have a few updates for you now, and then I'm part of the presentation a little later on some of the things my office has been working on. But from an update standpoint, I wanted to give a shout out to Deli Italia. They won. Thanks to everyone who voted. I know they're getting happily bombarded, closing early. So get in for lunch and tell them congrats. Ziggy's is nearing their completion with the city, so soon enough you will have another coffee shop to frequent and love along the corridor as well. And then a few updates, just generally speaking, I wanted to talk about. One, Colorado Mills partnered with SC Health to put a vaccination clinic in the mall. So if that is something that's interest of you and you still need, please reach out to them. They are taking appointments, but go to the mall, get it, hang out at the mall, frequent all the shops at the mall. They would greatly appreciate that. And then I just wanted to remind everyone that kind of in the hustle, there are two larger grant opportunities that came out of the American Rescue Plan as well. One being the Shuttered Venues Operators Grant and one being the Restaurant Grant Fund. Both are pretty much open. I know the SBA has been working through quite a few issues with the portals, but the pages on the SBA site are live. Explanations, lists of what you'll need to apply, deadlines, all that information is live on the SBA's website. So please frequent them. Please, if they apply to apply, they're working through the portal. They know, but they're ready. They're going and they're open. And I want to give a shout out as well to our workforce center. As people have navigated COVID and having to let go of people and now having to rehire people, the workforce center through Jefferson County can help you do that. So as you know, the commissioners spoke to, and we go towards more openings and a few less restrictions, and move our way towards potentially no restrictions. And you're looking to hopefully hire, reopen, you know, the inside of your shops. If you haven't done that yet, the Workforce Center can assist you in helping hire people if you need some help. So big shout out to them. They're fabulous. They're run through the county. But those are some of the updates I'll leave you with now, and then you'll hear from me a little bit later unless there are questions.
Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate it. With that, we're going to turn over to Liz Black, and she'll give us an update on the West Colfax Art District.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me as always. And Gosh, there is so much going on in the corridor that it's too much to mention. So first, I just want to give a plug for our online event calendar. Definitely check that for everything that's happening in the district. You can just go to our website. At the very top of the navigation bar is event calendar. Click on that and you'll see our numerous openings and exhibitions and fun events. So I'm just going to touch on a few things here. So one, I just want to highlight one of our local businesses, Lant Creative Space. Tabitha Lant has space right in the heart of the district, and she does classes off and on throughout the month. She does both online and in person. So it's a really wonderful way to partake in a creative class online. So it's really COVID safe. And if you're still not quite comfortable getting out in person, I would really encourage you to check out some of her classes. They're very beginner friendly, easy to follow, and she's really created an entire community of creatives who are both online and in person doing a lot of really fun creative things. We do have First Friday coming up on Friday, May 7th. In our gallery, we'll be hosting a new exhibition called Self. We have a number of really excellent pieces, including a number of self-portraits. And as always, all of our creative spaces will be open to the public with new and rotating exhibitions and a lot going on. So I really encourage folks to start getting out for First Friday again. We are adhering closely to all COVID guidelines and making sure that all of our spaces are safe to visit. So it should be a lot of fun. Lakewood Arts is having their spring arts and pottery sale on Saturday, May 8th from 10 to 4 p.m. It's a really great opportunity to come out and get some low cost and locally made gifts and pieces of pottery. They're also doing jewelry and other small pieces. So if you're looking for a last minute Mother's Day gift, for instance, I really encourage you to head to Lakewood Arts. They are also doing a ton in terms of their exhibitions, their courses, their workshops, and other offerings. So definitely head to their website and check them out. Our partnership with Colorado Mills continues to be robust and strong, and it's such a great opportunity for us to continue our westward expansion of arts and creativity along historic West Colfax Avenue. We'll have 2 new large-scale sculptures going in at the Mills within the next week or so, depending on this crazy weather that we've been getting. And we also just completed 2 new mini murals near Burlington Coat Factory. So as Vanessa mentioned, the Mills is open. They have a vaccine site as well out there, and art and sculpture and mini murals are just more reasons to head out to the Mills to check out everything that's going on. And gosh, already I've used up most of my time. I do want to give a quick plug for the 40 West Art Line. We have a lot going on there as well throughout the summer. So recently, Alexis Moore and I had an opportunity to present to the Planning Commission on the work along the 40 West Art Line and the transformation that's taken place in our neighborhoods. I think it was a really well-received talk, and it gave the Planning Commission a real opportunity to learn more about what's happened in Lakewood's West Colfax corridor and along the 40 West Art Line, and how that's really helped to spur new economic growth, activity, and the physical transformation of our local neighborhoods. We also have a spring cleaning volunteer event coming up on Saturday, May 22nd. You can find all the exact details on our Facebook page. Just go to the 40 West Arts or 40 West Art Line Facebook page and look for events. It will be a totally outdoors, really COVID-19 safe way to volunteer and commit just an hour and a half of your time to really helping us spring clean and touch up some ground murals and fence art installations along the 40 West Art Line to keep those looking fresh. And also stay tuned for a ground mural call for the intersection of 17th and Pierce. It's a new call that will be open to the public for an artist to come and transform that intersection. And we'll be working with both Metro West Housing Solutions and Excel Foundation on that particular project. And we've received money from both of those organizations to implement that project. So we're really grateful for that funding and support in support of moving the 40 West Art Line forward. So tons more, but I'll stop there. And if anyone has any questions, just let me know.
Hey Liz, this is Ron. You mentioned that people can find info on the Facebook page for 40 West Arts. Can they also just find that at 40westarts.org as well?
Yes, I would encourage folks to go to either the Facebook pages or, as I mentioned, our event calendar. It's really robust. There are tons of openings and exhibitions and all of our events there. You can just find that on 40westarts.org and then click on event calendar.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Lots going on. Nice. With that, we will move to West Metro Fire. Do we have someone here today from West Metro Fire?
Hey, Ron, can I pop in there before we go to West Metro, maybe while we're waiting?
Oh, sure, Kevin.
Sure.
I missed you. I'm sorry. I totally. Oh, I'm sorry. Before West Metro Fire, we've got Kevin Yoshida that's going to talk about the West Colfax bid. Sorry, Kevin.
Oh, no sweat, Ron. Morning, everybody. Yeah, lots of great news, excitement. Good to hear. I'll use my time just to give a shout out to Prestige Imports. They're moving their vision forward to expand on West Colfax. They took a big step with Planning Commission and Council last week, so we're super appreciative for them to continue to look at reinvesting and expanding on the corridor. And I'm sure we'll get an update from them on their vision as it becomes more salient in the future. One other update from the bid, thank you to all of our ambassadors. We had 27 engaged through that 8-month period of the 2040 Vision Implementation Group. So all the data is in. Check out bid.westcolfax.org. It's got the log and all of our information that's been accumulated along the way. And then stay tuned for the new pretty graphic designed update to the plan, but be rest assured that all the information is already at your fingertips and available on the website. There's a new intro, there's new guiding principles, and there's some new goals. So lots of great content, and we'll have a pretty version in everybody's hands soon. So stay tuned. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And with that, we will move to West Metro Fire. And I don't know.
Good morning. Cassie Tanner here for West Metro. I'm the board president, and Chief Rogers was not able to join us this morning. Just a couple of updates. We are proud to report that West Metro once again received the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for our 19th year in a row. That is a very prestigious award and really goes to show how hard the department works to be good stewards of your taxpayer dollars to ensure that we are putting resources where appropriate in our community. A couple of things to look out for. We are tentatively planning right now to have the family fire muster in person this fall. So we're working on that. The Colorado Fallen Firefighter Memorial, which is typically held in May, has been pushed back to October with the hope that we can have an in-person event because we unfortunately are placing 9 new names on the wall this year. So we want to make sure that if possible, we can give an opportunity for the families and brothers of those fallen firefighters to join us in a celebration and honor of their service. But that's all I have. You can always reach out to us if you have any other questions.
Thank you, Cassie. Thank you for that update. And thank you for being with us this morning. Lakewood Police. I think we have someone here from Lakewood Police to give us an update.
Yes, good morning. Ken Perry here from Lakewood PD. Just want to make you aware of just a couple things that are coming up here involving the police department. On April 24th, we're going to have our annual drug take back day. That'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it will be on the upper parking deck here at the police department at 445 South Allison. And the other piece of information I'd like to pass on is that last week, the department implemented a new online reporting tool. It's going to give citizens the ability to call in and, or not call in, but to get on the internet and to file crimes reports involving minor issues like vandalism and theft. And if there's no suspect information to follow up on, those individuals will be able to get online and make the report, and it should save time and responses from officers in the field. And that's about it from the PD.
Thank you, Commander Perry. Thank you again for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
For everything you do as well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. With that, I think we will move into our programs. And first up on our programs, we have Jansen Tidmore, who is the President and CEO of the Jeffco Economic Development Corporation. And with that, we are delighted to have that presentation today. So we'll turn it over to Jansen.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you all having me this morning. And Bill, big kudos to you getting 53 members out to this meeting at 7:30 in the morning. This is one of the larger groups I've seen on the Zoom. I knew you ran a first-class organization, but I'm thoroughly impressed and very, very happy to be here to talk to you all today. A little bit about me before I jump into the screen and start talking about the EDC. I moved here to Jefferson County May 6th of last year. So right in the middle of a pandemic, I took this role, moved my family from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I was in my hometown before that of Dothan, Alabama. So halfway across the country, very, very proud and honored to be in Colorado. I've wanted to be in Colorado for a long time. And even through the trials and tribulations of a pandemic, it's been a great move for my family and I, and very proud that in my first season, I got 22 ski days in. So as you get to know me, you know I'm serious about the snow skiing. And so I gotten 22 days in. I'm almost to my goal of 25. So I've got to squeeze a few more out here in A-Basin. But I'm going to share my screen now, and feel free to drop some questions in the comment section or stop me anytime throughout. So an introduction to the EDC. One of the things that was really intriguing about EDCs and our role is that, we really have three main goals. One is to be an economic development arm, and we are that for all of Jefferson County, to include our 5 cities, our unincorporated, and everything in between. And what do I mean by being the economic development arm? We talk a lot about strengthening the economy through capital investment, creating new primary employment opportunities. And I'm going to stop because I think this is kind of funny. I caught this typo after I sent this to Bill, and I went back to PowerPoint, and Supertunities does not flag as a misspelling. So kudos to King Supers and them for getting this to get flagged in and not catching that misspelling. But primary employment opportunities, retention and expansion of primary employment. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what primary employment is in a minute. Policy advocates for a business community, and then regulation advocate for business community. What do I mean by regulation? We did a lot with our cities. We did a lot with our county, planning, zoning, working through a lot of the nitty-gritty processes so that a business can get operational and really get what they need. One of the things that I thought was really cool about Jeffco EDC is that you may not realize we're the oldest economic development organization in the state. Founded in 1955. So last year celebrating 65 years. We're in our 66th year now. So we have a long-standing history of being a group that fights for and advocates on behalf of the business community all throughout Jefferson County. We are a public-private partnership, so 60% of our funding is private sector and 40% is public sector. And so one of the things that I always find interesting about that is, well, how does that work? Well, the government needs us and wants us because we go out and find capital and we find jobs, and we do a very critical function of government in providing for our economy. And the private sector wants us because they need that talent and they need those connections and they need a strong economy for them to survive as well. So we're kind of that perfect blend, that right there in the middle where both the public and the private sector meet with some common goals, and both want to subsidize those efforts for the overall good of our community. We do have a board of directors of about 30. We've got a board of governors of about 70, and we're a staff of 3 right now. A lean, mean, and mighty staff. And so we have myself, who's been here now just about a year, Lisa Harper, who's our vice president of admin and finance. She's been with us 12 years. And many of you probably know Lee Zeigler, who's our vice president of economic development. She's in our 13th year with us. Lee's out on maternity leave right now, but I've got a very strong team, and we do a lot with this small team. So I'm going to walk through our work plan because what Bill really wanted me to talk about is what are we doing? Talk about what we're doing this next year and what the future looks like. I'm going to walk you through 3 different sections of our goals. First being economic development, second being community engagement, and the third being our business and investor goals. So again, starting off with economic development, and I say it often, and I'll keep saying it, we keep the main thing. And for us, that's economic development. And so with this past year, that started right out the gate with COVID-19 efforts. We had to be a service and a shoulder and a voice for businesses through ever-changing policy and legislation. Policies that had to change because it was unlike anything we had seen before. But one of the things that any of my colleagues out there in the public sector can relate to is that as the information changed, we still have businesses that were operating and focusing on their product and what they could do. And they just didn't have the team or the power or the ability to really monitor every little change that happened. And so they leaned heavily on us to get that information to them. A lot of that's digital, a lot of that's Zoom, a lot of that's email, but it is, how does this affect my business? And so we had to do a lot of boiling down of many, many pages of COVID-19 legislation to what does that mean for manufacturing? What does that mean for retail? What does that mean for this sector and this sector and this sector? And that was a role that we felt like was ours to play. And I think we played it as well as we could over the past year. Business retention and business attraction efforts this past year really gave us a chance to look at the industries and those primary employers. And so I want to walk you through, and I did not include this, but I want to walk you through when we talk about primary employers and we talk about retention and attraction efforts, those different factors and figures that we look at. So we're going to look at there's 8 different sectors that we have that we take on. 5 are what we call primary sectors. I'm going to run through those first. 3 are target sectors. And I'm not going to go through this whole chart because I can numbers you to death here at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going to point out a couple key things that I want you to look at as we look at this first one here, aerospace. These are the number of jobs within Jefferson County within these prospective industries. And then this is what the average wage right next to that is per one of those jobs. So when you start talking about economic impact, that's the direct impact, the direct wage count for those 11,587 jobs in aerospace are making on average $163,000 a year. The number right next to that is the jobs multiplier. For every job created in aerospace, there's another 2.18 jobs created in other sectors. And so there's 3 numbers I just wanted to bounce out as you kind of look at these different slides. The other thing that I'll point out here is that job growth rate that you're seeing. You've got the past 5 years, you've got the next 5 years. We really looked at those. Where is there real great growth potential here in Jefferson County? And then the very, very bottom one there that you see out on the bottom right, exported sales. This is in there because when we talk about primary sectors, this is largely exported goods. These are non-consumer facing industries. They're creating a product that's likely going out of Jefferson County. It's not retail, it's not healthcare. And so those exported sales usually do a good metric of showing you what a primary versus a non-primary job is. So one of our primary employers is aerospace. You can see it's one of our average highest wages, and we've got a great concentration. We always battle for 1 or 2 in the state in per capita concentration in aerospace jobs. Our second primary sector is beverage production. Probably no surprise here because of Molson Coors. Again, one of the things that I think surprised me about this one is sometimes you think of this more manufacturing, but when you look at the average wage on those 2,700 jobs, still hitting over $100,000 a year. And I'm going to take a time to tell you this. One of the metrics that often is forgotten in economic development that we don't forget is raising per capita income. We want the capital investment, we want the gross number of jobs, but we want to raise per capita and average income, median income for our households, because that's what allows us economic prosperity for all. So when you see, when you know our median income sitting around 80,000 for Jeffco, these jobs that are paying more than that median income are very important to us. One of the great things here, 3.5 job multiplier. There is, you see this projected growth decline, but this is more of an industry-wide decline. We think in Jefferson County we'll beat that metric strictly because we know of the investment happening at Molson Coors that'll continue to happen. Bioscience, one of those lesser known facts about us, when you look at per capita for medical devices, manufacturing of medical devices, Jefferson County is #1 in the state. We do more medical devices per capita than any other county in Colorado. And so 7,600 jobs in the bioscience world, $124,000 average wage. We've been right on about the average growth, but we know we're going to outpace that over the next 5 years. So bioscience, another great primary sector. Energy is probably one across every county in this state. Colorado has a huge energy sector. The one thing I'll point out on this one is that jobs multiplier. This one, we actually double and triple check, 9.2. It's almost hard to believe how many jobs are created for every job in energy, but you'll continue to see a growth rate, for a number of different ways. Let me say this. This is renewable energies. This is traditional energies. This is all sectors of energy. And you can't underestimate what NREL right here in Jefferson County does for us and the impact in the future that NREL is going to bring to us in that sector. And then the next one is a combined slide. I'm going to show you this infrastructure engineering and intensive manufacturing. What you do when you add these two, we've lumped this together as just engineering as a whole. Jefferson County has over 40,000 engineers in our county. 40,000 engineers. That is a tremendous number. And when you really look at the economy and you look at how jobs have changed, engineering has become one of the top, no matter what the sector is. Companies want engineers there, and they're great paying jobs. You're seeing that the infrastructure paying 81. You're seeing that when you're in intensive manufacturing, 157, our second highest median. You're seeing some great growth. You see a 21% growth in Jeffco over the last 5 years in intensive manufacturing, a 21% growth in infrastructure engineering. This is one that we had not really looked at in the past. And when we pulled these numbers, we're like, we're an engineering mecca. And then you started thinking about it, Colorado School of Mines. You started thinking about the companies that we have here, the Martin & Martins, the APCs, and you were like, oh, how did we not talk about this before? And so it's one of those great things, one of those great sectors for us, and it rounds out our 5 primary sectors. Those 5 sectors that we're already strong in, that we're going to continue to be strong in, and we focus those business retention and attraction efforts on. The next 3 I'm going to talk about are what we call our target sectors. And so you're kind of seeing, and I didn't get too much into it, that location quotient is going to go a little bit more red and a little bit lower. What these are these are 3 sectors that we're strong in, but not as strong as other areas, but we're seeing tremendous growth. And so we don't want to ignore them. We want to nurture them because they fit into what our goals and our objectives are. They have a great wage, and there's a tremendous amount of opportunity to bring jobs to Jefferson County in this. And so the first of that is aviation. We've got a great airport with RMMA. We've got a lot of land up there with that airport, over 600 acres on the Verve Innovation Park site. And these are good paying jobs, 93,000. One of the things I'll point out on this particular one is that growth rate. You've seen over the last 5 years, this particular sector's grown 47% in Jefferson County, and is expected to grow another 20%. While it's not a huge amount of businesses, it's one that we're slowly getting a great name for. One I'll point out, Shelter, that opened up their FBO, their fixed base operation in 2020, won the national award for the best new FBO operation in the country, putting us on a national radar, getting a great backdrop. And a fun little fact on that, because I know she's in the news all the time, Kylie Jenner, through one of her flights, stopped in there a couple months ago. So Kylie Jenner's even noticed in our airport here. Next target sector is advanced manufacturing. Now, this is one that I spent a little bit of time talking more about, because manufacturing in the old sense of assembly lines is not what the new advanced manufacturing is. Advanced manufacturing now is very automated, robotics, engineering intensive. And you can see these are not the widget pay that you traditionally think of. These jobs are paying an average of $125,000 a year. Fantastic jobs, great companies, and employing nearly 21,000 people in Jefferson County. Specifically within this sector, there's 3 that we're really excited about, and that's outdoor recreational manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, and that engineering intensive. And so those are 3 kind of subsectors within that we're looking at. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is IT and telecommunications. When we started going through this, you don't really think of us as a big IT area, but there's nearly 21,000 jobs here. And so I live in Northwest Jefferson County up in Candelas. And after I did this, I started looking around. I realized how many of my neighbors worked in IT, but worked from home. And so they're still capturing Jefferson County companies. I mean, there's still a Jefferson County employment, and they're working for these IT companies, and there's been a lot of flexibility in that. We've got a tremendous amount of IT and telecom talent in Jefferson County, and that rounds out what we look at when we talk about retention and attraction. Those are those sectors that we're looking at, going after, and having those conversations with. And so I wanted to end the economic development on this is without data, you're just another person with an opinion. We are very data centric and data heavy. We have a lot of resources at our fingertips. And one of the things that I've been trying to encourage our partners and our economic development partners and our bid districts and more is to come talk to us about data that you maybe want or have or need. And I can tell you one of the things that just to kind of show you how direct we can get into this is the fact that I can tell you how much a neighborhood's buying in bread, and eggs, and flour. I could tell you about transportation needs. I can tell you how many cars per household, and I can get that down to a very, very a small level, neighborhood block group level. And so we've got a tremendous amount of data. We try to get that into many of our partners' hands. We work quite a bit with the city of Lakewood. I know Robert's not on this call, Vanessa. We work with our city partners. We get them that data, and we act as a resource and a leverage for them. One of the things that's interesting is when you have 575,000 people throughout the county, you can't do it all. I mentioned we're a team of 3. So we sit around a lot of economic development tables, and some of them were in the head chair and some of them were in a secondary chair, and we're perfectly comfortable with that. We've got great partners in each of these cities, including Robert and Vanessa, to help us on these economic development efforts. The next goal and objective I wanted to talk about was community engagement. One of the things that's very important to me is to remove the veil of economic development. For many, many decades, and this is something that's true throughout our industry across every city, economic developers like to hold things very close to their chest. They don't really want to talk about it. They don't really want you to know what they're doing. There's always kind of this secrecy or like, what is economic development? What are they doing there? I want it to be more of a community effort because what we do is A, very, very fun, and B, very, very relevant to the quality of life that every one of our residents have. We help bring jobs that allow you to live your life and go and function and do. And so one of the things that's very important to me is to take that veil away. Now, that doesn't mean I can tell you about every single project we're working on, but in generalities, we're able to have more conversations around what economic development is, what it isn't, and the role we play in the community, and that's important. And so we want to engage in conversations with the public. We want to engage in conversations like this today. And then we want to be what I just talked about. We want to be the numbers around economic development community. We want to be your data resource, your data center. You should be able to come to us and we can provide you with third-party, neutral, good, relevant facts and numbers. We're not a very opinionated group. I even say that about my projects, is that it's not up to me to tell you if you're a great fit. I'm going to give you every relevant number you need, and then you tell me if you think it's a good fit for you. There's too much money on the line. There's too much investment on the line. I respect all that too much to tell you or to sell you. Our role is to provide you with the relevant information to make a good vetted decision. And so some of the ways that we do that, hopefully you've seen some of these going out on our Facebook and our Instagrams, is kind of like what I showed you just a little bit ago, local industry snapshots. We want you to know that aerospace has 303 companies, an average wage and number of jobs in aerospace. And did you know 30 beverage related companies opened in Jeffco between 2013 and 2015? We want all of you to be able to do the elevator pitch with us. We don't want to just be the only ones to do these elevator pitches. When someone asks you about the economy in Jeffco, we want to give you some good tidbits to go out and have that conversation as well. And the last thing for us is business and investor goals. We are a place that does events, networking, and meaningful connections. We've got 4 key sectors that kind of come and are members of us. Each of those have a different reason that they want to be a member of us, that they want to engage with us. And so that last one, meaningful connection, is something that's important. It's something that COVID has really allowed us to take a step back and to think about what that means, because we really want not to just do something for the sake of doing it. We want to do something that adds value to your day-to-day, to your company, to your individual goals. We do have committees and a chance to really get involved through our government affairs, through Develop Jeffco, which really looks at a lot of planning and zoning. We just launched marketing and communication to do what we just talked about. How do we engage the community in a meaningful fashion? And so there's some great committees that we have that people really get into and really enjoy being a part of. And then the last one there is EDC every day. I don't want you to think of us as just when you need us for an incentive or a company that's just going through growth and expansion and that's all we deal with. We're here. We are an integral piece of the fabric of this community. And every day, we're here to support and help and be a part of your business, to be a part of your lives, to be a part of your needs that's out there. And so we're really working towards what that means and how that's relevant to the community. If you want to follow some of our social channels, this is where you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We've tried to get a lot more engaged in that. You know, there's a saying that you probably all heard. There's never been more ways to communicate, yet it's never been harder. And so we're constantly trying to get our name and some of these messages out there. If you'd like to follow us, you can follow us at one of those. And I'm right at my 15 minutes, so I'll open up for any questions.
Hey, Jansen, this is Ron. That's an amazing amount of great information. Could you expand just a little bit on the location quotient and kind of how that's calculated and what it means?
Yeah, sure. I kind of skipped that one on purpose because I didn't want to get you too mathematical. A location quotient takes a number of factors into play. It takes your population, the number of jobs, the growth rate of that job, and what it basically boils down to is a percentage. So if a 1.0 is average, if you're at a 1 on a location quotient, then you're U.S. average for that position. So you can expect to hire as you would in any other city. Any percentage below that, you're that percentage less likely to hire because there's a gap that's there. So you saw that aviation was a 0.29. That meant there was a 71% gap in traditional talent that would be in that location. So we've got some growing to do there. We're seeing that it's growing fast, but we're still 71% off of what an average city would be. Anything above that, I think you saw aerospace was 4.12. That meant we have 400% more talent availability than the average city in that particular sector. So your site selectors and those, your real estate, the groups that are going out and doing these national searches, they look at a location quotient to see how competitive your market is from a talent standpoint.
Thank you. Any other questions for Jansen? He's provided us links to where we can find more information. We appreciate that. And we'll also make sure that we put that information, if it's not already there, up on our website. But we very much appreciate you being with us today. It's a very positive message for kind of what's happening in Jefferson County. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you all.
Next, we will move to Katy Zeigler, and she will give us an update on our passport program that she's been working diligently on.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'll try and keep it kind of quick today, but I have some exciting stuff to share with you all regarding passport. This is one of the last chances we'll get to talk before it ends, so there's some really important stuff to go over, so take good notes for me. All right, first, of course, we'll say it again, congratulations to Deli Italia. This is a huge win for them. They beat out many pizzerias in Denver for best pizza in Denver. And because they won, they had to change it to best pizza near and around Denver. They beat out Cart Driver. They beat out Cosmos. They beat out a lot of amazing other local favorites. And they're right here on West Colfax. They're part of our passport program. So everybody said get in early. I recommend order your meal the night before because I tried to get in early and they were already sold out. So congratulations to Deli Italia. Okay, so really quickly, what is this? If you've never been here, if this is the first time you're hearing about Passport, hi, welcome to the program. This is Passport West Colfax. 15 restaurants and food and dining establishments on West Colfax are participating. Basically, you print your passport off, you go in or you order out, you get a sticker. They're running out quickly, so finish getting your sticker soon. You put it on your passport, you submit it to us, it enters you into a chance to win gift cards, and it enters your favorite business into a chance to win a $500 micro grant. It ran from April 1st and it's running until April 30th, so you have about 9 days left to vote and get out there and do it. All right, so again, this is your reminder to vote. We're getting toward the end of Passport, so if you haven't submitted your first 5 stickers, remember you can submit up to 3 times with 5 stickers for 1 vote, 10 stickers for the next vote. And of course, if you complete it with all 15, you can vote a 3rd time and you can enter to win an iPad. This closes at midnight on the 30th. So remember to vote. You won't hear from me again until after it's over unless you're really good about checking our social media. So reminder to vote. All right. So just as a quick update, I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what we've seen so far, maybe get you hungry, maybe encourage you to go eat something. So thank you first to our community who's been out there and sharing their photos at the Shop West Colfax and Passport West Colfax hashtags on social media. It's great to see you all out there collecting your stickers, visiting our local businesses, etc. If you have a great photo, please tag me in it or tag West Colfax in it or use that hashtag. I would love to see you out there supporting it. That's how we get the word out to more folks that this is happening. And if you haven't convinced you, here's the chance to. So I provided a photo of something that I purchased at every single one of our destinations because I finished the passport in 4 days with 3 of my friends on April 4th. So here's everything. If you haven't figured out, this is the sweet tooth slide. I encourage you to get out there and check out some of these amazing desserts. Maybe you want some takeout, maybe you want some breakfast. Just saying, Saffron Grill, lamb kebabs, fantastic. If you haven't gotten out to Minton Serif or you haven't gone to Westfax, who just celebrated their 5-year anniversary, I encourage you to do so. A special shout out to Chicago's. They just let me know that they're down to their last like 200 stickers. They don't think they'll even have enough to make it to the 30th. And once they run out, they run out. So if you want Chicago's on your passport or you're looking to complete it, get there today. And then of course, even more tacos, our friends at Yavi Hut, our friends at Daily Bread, great places to stop in or hang out. You can see in this photo, I hung out with some friends along the art line after I went and picked up a not chicken salad sandwich. So it was like a tofu salad sandwich, and it was also vegan and gluten-free and tasted exactly like the original thing. And then of course, some classics. So once again, this is your reminder to submit your passport and vote. Please come out and vote. You can go to our website. I'll drop a link in the chat. Once you have 5 stickers, tell us that you're playing along. We'd love to see it. We'd love to make sure that your favorite restaurant gets extra entries into our raffle to win that $500 to really say, we support you, we love you, thank you for being on our corridor. There is your quick slide. And a special thank you to those who made it happen. Are there any questions? No? Awesome. I'll leave it at that.
Very well done, Katie, and just mega kudos to you for making this happen. And it's just cool to see that people are running out of stickers and voting and doing what they need to do. But like you said, it ends at the end of the month, and it's already been successful. It sounds like, and the vendors sound like they've really embraced it, that it's been good for them and good for everybody involved. So thank you.
Yeah, votes are definitely rolling in. So make sure you get yours in for your chances. It's been really exciting.
Thank you. Well done. Next on our program, we have Roger Wadnal back with us, and I think maybe a couple of his team members to talk about the West Colfax Pedestrian Safety Project. So with that, Roger, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Ron. Today, we're really going to talk about public involvement, but I wanted to give a little bit of background. And some of this is a repeat, but there are people coming and going in this meeting different months. And we really want to use this organization as kind of our conduit for information on the Colfax Safety Project. And I always want to mention that the reason for the project is safety. The segment of Colfax between Sheridan and Wadsworth has the highest number of accidents and injuries and deaths, unfortunately, and we're really trying to address that. I'm going to touch on the schedule real quick and then turn it over to Ann to talk about public involvement. You're looking at a timeline here. We've really been working on this project at some form with the Colfax bid for about 4 years. And we received a grant in 2019 to look at the concept, and that's where Ann is with Michael Baker, our current consultant under contract. In December, we received a Colorado Department of Transportation grant for $10 million, and then we had another $2.5 million city local match, and that was approved in March. We started our public involvement time in March. And now we're in kind of negotiations with the Colorado Department of Transportation to get an intergovernmental agreement. And then we want to get another request for a proposal and get a consultant on board within the next couple months to start the project design. And you can see that on phase 2. So we're kind of in phase 1 right now, and we're kind of easing into phase 2. So with that, I'm gonna just turn it over to Ann to talk about the public involvement piece. Ann?
Great, thanks. Welcome everybody. I'm going to share my screen and bring us back to the website, which is really our hub of information. So couple updates here I wanted to point out, and just some status updates I wanted to share with you all on where we're at with things. So first, this stay informed with this megaphone here that's shouting at us. This is a great spot if you want to get any updates on any project changes or opportunities for input. Putting your email address here is specific to this project. So if you would like to be not having to track this independently, but just get an update whenever we change anything substantial here, having your email address here is a great way to do that. And you can subscribe to all of our updates and newsletters. So we'll have a newsletter coming out shortly, and we would love to send it to you. So go ahead and sign up there as an opportunity. We also wanted to note that the first survey, so this is a survey that's really kind of refining the priorities that you all have specific to this project. And that's going to be open. I need to change the date right there actually, until May 10th. Now we extended it a little bit. We want to make sure that you all have plenty of time to respond to it, and then also any of the business community that hasn't seen it yet. So feel free to share it, respond to it. We've gotten 450 responses so far, but we'd like to hear from even more people. We're going to use this information to identify what some of those top design priorities are for people on and near the corridor. And then we're going to have in our next phase a look at the visual preferences for those design priorities. So that could be things like your streetscape, how you want to integrate art into things, how can we make bus stops more inviting, welcoming, aesthetically pleasing. So feel free to take that survey. We'd love to hear from you. And then I wanted to point out a couple other things that are down here on these tabs. Ask a question. We haven't gotten a ton of questions so far, but if you have a question about the project, you can submit it here, and any questions that have been asked and responded to are going to be down here. The other opportunity is places. If you have a location specific concern or idea, there's an opportunity to tell us specifically where you would like to see things or where there's an issue. And then the last tab here is on frequently asked questions. So if you have a question that you think might be included there, this tab has a lot of information as well. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that on April 30th, I'm going to plan to be out on the corridor to distribute flyers. We have flyers available in English and Spanish with just some high-level project information to get the word out. If anybody would like to be part of that, we've got a really simple sign up here on the website, right under the megaphone, volunteer sign up. Just click on that. It'll take you to a really quick input where you can just tell me your name, email, phone, and then I'm going to get that list and I will send out the specifics and details to anyone who signs up. So it'll be on the corridor. We'll give you everything you need to do that. You don't need any sort of technical understanding or anything like that. And if you also that day have questions or want to just come and chat with me, I'll be out on the corridor as well. So all the details are in that link. And I would love to have some people join me to help get the word out. So we appreciate all the support we've gotten from this group to date. Hey, a couple other things. The timeline is down here. Yeah, and then documents are down at the bottom. So the two flyers I'm referencing are also down here if you want to share them with anyone. We have the information in Spanish and English at the bottom, and then we have some other supporting documents as well. So this is really our hub for information on Lakewood's Lakewood Together site. So I encourage everybody to check it out, share it, participate, ask us questions, and complete that survey. The other key thing that I wanted to point out that we're planning for is our public meeting opportunity, which is going to be May 20th. Or I'm sorry, yeah, May 20th. Make sure I get the date right. We're going to have two opportunities that day. And they're each going to be, we'll have a 45-minute opportunity midday and then one after the normal workday so that we can try and accommodate both schedules. It'll be the same meeting. We just want to give some flexibility in people's opportunity to join. We will have interpretation in Spanish. So we encourage Spanish speakers to join and English speakers. And we're really at that point going to be giving you a summary of all the survey input to date. We'll give a project overview, and then we're going to move into what does this look like, where we're talking about visual preference for those top priority items, and launch into that phase of the work. So we hope everybody can attend. We're going to be adding the registration info to the website. So if you want to register in advance and add that to your calendar, you can do that here in the coming days. And again, if you sign up for this, subscribe with the megaphone, we'll make sure to push that information out specifically to that group of people, as well as sharing it at this meeting in the next month. Let me check my list. I think I've got one more topic. The one other thing that I wanted to mention is that we have a call for art open. We're so thankful to get to work with 40 West. We are looking for a couple artists to have their artistic interpretation of a future Colfax that is pedestrian, vehicle, transit rider, safe, comfortable, and integrated into the overall vision of your corridor with vibrant places and artistic elements. And so we're looking for artists not to show us a full design of the road, but really an artistic vision of that. So what does that look like, maybe in an abstract way or a creative way? So we're excited to have that open. The call is on 40 West 40 West website under their call for entries. So I think that covers it. Unless people have questions, I'm happy to answer.
Ann and Roger, I'll just say that the picture that you have up looking east on Colfax at just before Pierce is really kind of embodies what you're trying to accomplish here. When I just think of pedestrians trying to walk down Colfax with that light pole in their way. So thank you so much for being with us today to present this. And so you've extended the survey out a little past, so people can still go to that, and we encourage them to do so. Any questions for Roger or Ann?
Ron, this is Adam. I just have a comment real fast and want to thank everybody. This is a big deal, and hopefully with an infrastructure package, we might be able to see more of these types of projects take place. And I certainly know our folks on the west side would love to see some opportunities too. So I'm really excited. And I forgot to mention what coincides with this. We just hit the $10 million mark for monies for dollars set aside for the stormwater improvements in this section also. So that's a culmination of Mile High Flood District and the city of Lakewood banking these dollars for the last few years, which is also going to be reinvested right here in the area and help to get a lot of these businesses out of the floodplain. So, you know, the vision of what this community has wanted for many years is starting to come to fruition, and it's just nothing is ever fast. But I think it's important to just give you all a round of applause for sticking with it, continuing to, you know, see this dream become a reality. So
thank you. Oh, any other questions, comments? Okay. Last on our programs today, we have Vanessa Zarate, who'll be back with us again, and she's going to talk a little bit about the economic development incentive program that's in place.
Hello, everyone. I want to make two very quick comments before I launch into the incentives and kind of my tip of the month. One being a big shout out to the Colfax Passport Program, but I've spoken to most of the businesses on the Passport Program, and they are over the moon. They do a happy dance when you go in there. They're excited. They're ready and happy to see you. So please frequent them. Please frequent those not on the Passport, but our local businesses do a happy dance when you are in there. And then one thing I forgot to mention is the Mayor's Inspiration Awards is open. So if you know of people, if you know of an organization you would like to submit, all that information is online. It's been in our news blast. I'll send Katy Zeigler a link as well. But Mayor Inspiration Awards are open. My tip of the month today, and I'll go into details on some of the city programs, is take advantage of the programs that are available to you. So like you all hear, I bug you about the Enterprise Zone probably every single month. That is a program that's available to you. Take advantage of those. If you don't know what is available to you, reach out to me. I'm happy to walk you through the various levels, whether it's from us, whether it's the county, the state, someone else. But there are programs related to COVID, but also not related to COVID, that we're here to help you, and we're here to help you as a business. Take advantage of those. That's what they're for. What I'm going to share with y'all today, if I can share my screen, is some incentives that we are rolling out here at the city. And there are 3. One is the commercial investment program. This y'all have heard about. We did a pilot program a couple years ago, and we had it was called the Facade program. And it's back. This is a matching grant. So should you want to make improvements and investments to your building, this grant can help you match to do that up to $10,000. So a few examples we had in the pilot program were people redoing their parking lots, adding signage, adding new structures to their building like paint or things like that. So the curb appeal, the investment, the landscaping that makes these commercial corridors exciting and vibrant. So this is one, a commercial investment program. A second is an adaptive reuse program, and this is aimed at helping us fill buildings that are a little bit on the older side. There are quite a few buildings on Colfax, but in Lakewood in general, that are a little bit older, may need a little bit more TLC to get people to move into them. And this program is aimed at helping fill that construction gap to get buildings up to speed and up to code, so that people are in them and they're operating and they're serving their communities and serving you. So this is a grant that can give you up to $10,000 to kind of help fill that construction gap, to reuse the buildings that we have and to get people into these buildings that have potentially been vacant. There is all of these have the eligibility and project eligibility application, but then they'll explain more. But this is aimed at helping fill that gap to get people into existing buildings we have that may be vacant for one reason or another. And then the third is a attraction program. So it says retail, but retail, active entertainment uses, things like that are new to the city of Lakewood. This is a comment we've heard pretty consistently from the 2040 plan, from neighbors, but from people all across Lakewood, that they want businesses that are exciting, that they can go to for date night or family night. They can take visitors from out of town. So those exciting kind of active retail businesses, active entertainment uses that add to that vibrancy, encourage people to come out. So this is a grant that is helping encourage that. If you're new to the city of Lakewood and you meet some of these establishments, we want you here. We want to help you get here. And this is a grant that can help you do that. Bear with me as I get them on our website. The website is not my friend, but they will be up. There will be a link. They'll be easy for these to access. I will send these all to Katy as well, so she can upload them. But we've tried to concise them into a one-pager with an application with it that tells what you're going to do with the project, why, and then it gets sent to us and we can process through that. So as a very, very quick overview of these 3 programs, I like to keep within my time frame. I get the eyes even via Zoom. So I will send these out. Please reach out to me, but these are from the city. There are programs through a lot of different orgs to help you as a business that's what they're here for. That's what they're designed for. So my just general tip is take advantage of those that are available to you. And if you don't know, let me know and I will help you get engaged with the ones that you want, the ones that apply to you, and sort out. I know oftentimes I get, well, I did a Google search and 80,000 things came up. Let me help you sort through it and let me help you get to the programs that you need and you want and that are made and built for you.
Fabulous. Yeah, it seems like our job is now to take the information that you put together and get it out to the community. You know, these are relatively smaller grants, and it just seems so appropriate to reactivate, you know, buildings and help energize retail, especially as we're kind of accelerating back out of COVID, that the timing's perfect. So thank you for putting that together. And I'm sure that when you are able, between you and Katy, we'll get that information up on our website as well. But I would encourage everybody here to, you know, kind of get the word out on these things. Looks like the application process is pretty simple. So, and they're there to help. So thank you. Thank you, Vanessa. We're a little bit behind on time, I think, in terms of normal, but we're going to go through our community updates, and I will go through the list. And I know most of the people have someone here today, so we'll start with the Action Center. And I think I saw John with us today.
Yeah, hi, good morning. I'm going to just keep up with Jansen and share some more stats with you. We've just completed 12 months of our COVID response to households in need here in our community. And we've just let you know, we've served over 30,000 households have come through the Action Center in the last year. And what we've done is we've provided them with over 2.7 million pounds of food have been distributed out, 2.7 million pounds of food. And equally amazing is we've also been able to help families with rent assistance to the tune of $1.7 million. Now, I share that with you because we're convinced that the need of many of our households are going to continue. Just because COVID is decreasing, we know this need is going to continue. And so in order for us to continue doing that, I'm formally inviting all of you today to the Action Center's premier fundraising event, which is virtual, on May 21st at 12 o'clock. And I'm going to put in the chat box how you can register. When you go to register, make sure you find Josh Cawcut as your Action Center champion, because you're going to want to be a part of his group, because he will be the happening group at the event. So thank you for all your support, and I'll put all that information in a chat. Have a great day, folks.
Thank you, John. Next, we have Lakewood Arts. Okay, Two Creeks Neighborhood.
That's me. That's me. Our last meeting consisted of 3 developers in the area. We are the oldest area in Lakewood, so there's a lot to do. We are also monitoring what is happening over in Villa Park in Denver. So we crossed the border on Sheridan to see what they're doing. So it's very interesting. Brick House Apartments have opened, and we hope to get a tour of that soon. It's a beautiful building. So lots going on in the Two Creeks area.
Thanks, Kathy. Thank you. Ivor Neighborhood.
Yes, we are in the middle of planning 3 open air events in our various parks this summer, where we're going to invite members of the neighborhood to hang out with the association as we reconstitute it, talk about issues in the neighborhood, be looking for opportunities there. All are welcome, even if you don't live in the neighborhood, but we'll have details. We hope to have details on that out next month. And Katie, I'll get those to you.
Thank you, Josh. Morris Park.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Morris Park Neighborhood Association isn't active, but Sustainable Morris Park is going to host electronic and metal recycling this Saturday at Clements Community Center from 9 to 1. And the only cost is for a TV, $25, no matter what size. But of course, we volunteer, cash donations are nice, but they're accepting computers and laptops and cameras and stereos and speakers, all kinds of stuff That's this Saturday from 9 to 1 at Camp Clements parking lot.
Okay, thank you, Carol. Applewood Valley.
Hi, Ron. This is Dave Ruckman. We have nothing new to report. We haven't had a meeting in a while.
Okay, thank you. Daniels Welchester. North Lakewood Advocates. Anybody here from North Lakewood Advocates? Okay, I can see we've got Jerry here from Lakewood Elks. Jerry, you anything to share with us today?
We're opening up pretty good. We've got our club bingo, bar bingo on Tuesdays from 5 to 7. We got our public bingo open on Wednesdays and Fridays from 11 to 2. We have ballroom dancing on Thursdays, country dancing on Fridays. In fact, last Friday we had over 100 people there for the dance. It was really awesome. So we're getting back into the groove of making a lot happen in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Good to see live music back in the corridor. That'll help get things going again. West Metro Chamber.
Yeah, hi guys, good morning. This is Madison with the Chamber. As everyone else has said, our website has a lot of updates on our calendar, so you can check that out, and I'll put my email on the website. But the top 3 things would be, we have a meeting on Monday, the 26th at noon. It's Rebuild, Rehire, and Recover Together. We're hosting this with Alameda Connects, and we're chatting about the laws that have been passed that will affect many of you in the very near future. Registration's free and open to the community. We also have Women in Business on Tuesday, the 27th, about tiny tweaks to make a big impact. And as always, I have a promo code for anyone on the West Colfax call that if you're not a member, you can join at the $5 member fee, even if you're not a member just yet. And lastly, we have a chamber speed networking coming up on the 13th for members and their guests. And this is in person. So we're super excited to host this at the African Grill and Bar in Lakewood. We have a limit on attendance, and registration isn't open just yet, but keep an eye on the website and I'll send that in the chat. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Madison. Another sign that we're starting to do things where we can be in person again. So hopefully we can do that on a basis that keeps everybody safe. Do we have anybody here from the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design? Nope. West Colfax Kiwanis?
Yes, speaking of outdoor events, our primary fundraiser is to serve beverages at the various Lakewood concerts. We would love to have you join our group. It's an absolute blast. You get to meet everybody and check IDs and all kinds of fun stuff. But if you are interested in, as we start to open up, if you're interested in being a part of our group, please message me. We'd love to have you.
Thank you, Josh. Are there any other community groups that are here today that have anything to share with the group? Okay. Are there any new members that haven't been with us before that would just like to take a moment and introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Sofia Mayacarero, and I have not been to a WCCA meeting since 2015, maybe. I was briefly an environmental organizer with a program called Protégete that focused on Latino engagement, and came to WCCA meetings like in person in the theater a handful of times because it was the best way to know what was happening. I'm now running for Ward 2 City Council, and so I'm getting back in the groove, although I can't imagine that after the election I would stop coming. This is the most community information to get in one place. This is really great. Thanks all.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for being with us. Be sure to come back. And as I've told everybody, invite a friend. You know, it seems like we pack so much good information in 90 minutes here, and we're back on track time-wise. So I would challenge everybody to tell everybody how great this is for information. I mean, what we heard from Jansen was amazing. A lot of positive stuff happening between the the corridor safety project, and we now hear that there's money kind of accumulating for the storm issue. So it seems like it's all coming together. So thank you all for being here. Are there any other thoughts, comments, anybody that would like to share a word or two before we call it a wrap?
Ron, I hate to be the one that chats all the time, but I definitely want to do lunch, passport lunch next Thursday on the 29th. If anyone else is interested, I'll throw my email in the chat again, or just text me, and we'll figure out a place to show up. So
excellent. Yep. May take you up on that myself. So thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of the day, and be safe and be well. Thank you all.